What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla, back here with another very exciting Godzilla figure review. Guys, today we are taking a look at the 2023 release from Bandai of MechaGodzilla II, 1993. Let's jump right in.
Oh my god!
Alrighty, guys, so we are back here with our MechaGodzilla II, and obviously from the 1993 film Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla 2. So this is going to be our tag here. You got the 2023 logo, MechaGodzilla 1993. Very good picture of him. They showed a very crisp, nice looking image of him. Looks great on that tag there. Inside the tag, typical dealio. Going to have the silhouette there. And then flipping it around to the back. I assume this is going to say Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, Movie Monster Series, Bandai. And you got the little outline of his little baby spines. Guys, let's get this tag sleeved up real quick. And there we have it. I wish the tags were almost like inverted or something, like, so this thing was on the other side, because it's always covering the face of the guy right there in the middle. But anyways, tag is sleeved. Let's move into the figure, guys, starting with our detail on this figure. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Obviously, we're pretty much just going to be having this silver. I know, I wish we would have gotten a little bit of differential. I know MechaGodzilla 2 is pretty much supposed to be just silver anyways, but I wish we could have gotten a little bit more detail thrown in, some black, some wirings here and there. But on the bottoms of the feet, they look pretty solid. The detail is nice. Bottoms of the feet are actually going to be detailed. So the bottoms of the feet actually have more detail than a lot of the figure, actually. There's kind of our stamp logo there. Moving up the legs, we do have some nice looking detail. Again, just going to be all this silver paint. Got some good looks on here. There's our knees. We got some of our little thrusters underneath there. Moving to the back of the tail, looks good here. Nice little sets of 3 spines. Looks pretty solid on that end. Legs again. Torso, we got some, that could have been painted, some wiring, that would be nice. Got the chest plates. This is a separate sculpt than the other, the Super MechaGodzilla we just recently got. And we'll take a look at why here in a little bit. Kind of got some little bit of detail on underneath those things. Moving into the arms. Again, I wish we got some wiring painted and whatnot. Got some more little thruster action. The hands look pretty good. Decent detail on those. The inside of the hands actually look way more detailed. Have some good little detailing on the fingers and the hands there. Into the neck. Got our nice little neck pouch. And the head is definitely going to be the highlight of this figure. Looks great. The side of the head has some really fun detailing. The back looks good. But obviously the front is going to be the highlight of this figure. The teeth look pretty nice. I wish they could have done a little bit better, kind of chiseling in those teeth, giving them a better look on them. But then moving the head, guys, look at the eyes. We do have kind of the little slated look to the eyes, so it's not just a single piece of yellow. It does have some texture in there, which I really enjoy. It definitely spices up the figure a lot, makes them look a heck of a lot better. So I definitely appreciate some of the detail. Paint is a little lackluster, but what are you going to get and do with a Super MechaGodzilla or MechaGodzilla 2? He's just pretty darn silver overall. Anyways, guys, getting into the articulation of the figure, unfortunately, the legs are the exact same piece as the whole body. Pretty much from the neck all the way down is one solid piece. So we're not going to get any articulation. It would have been cool to get some waist. It looks like actually there might be a glue seal there that you could break. So maybe it's not one piece, it might be 2. But either way, no actual articulation. You could try and mess around with that glue seal, but I'll let somebody else do that. We do have tail articulation, so this tail articulation always kind of bothers me because it's so useless. Like, when am I ever going to be like, yeah, let me pose this tail like this? Like, give me torso so I can make the body more posable. That'd be awesome. But anyway, so we do have the tail. Arms are going to go easy 360. That's great. Head is going to also go 360 degrees. So nice to have some at least head, arm, and the random tail articulation. Guys, getting into some size comparisons. Because first up is going to be the 2023 Super MechaGodzilla. Pretty cool how we got 2 versions of MechaGodzilla 2 in the same year. But moving into some of the differences and similarities, guys, it does look like we have a decent amount, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the entire waist down definitely might be the same exact sculpt. We look pretty darn similar here. But obviously waist up, we don't have the little chest button here on the new release. The arms looking pretty darn similar, a little bit... It's hard to tell. They might be identical as well. A lot of similarities here. The figures are going to stand basically even in height. So honestly, the only difference really might be the addition of this little button. Let me know if I'm really missing anything. Hopefully I'm not missing anything glaring. But I really think these are pretty darn similar figures for the most part. Heads look pretty darn similar. Let's get a close-up of some of the heads. Get them in here. I wish one of these guys, maybe it would have been cool for the Super MechaGodzilla, but I wish he had a mouth open. That would look really awesome. Obviously, the backs are going to be a little bit harder to compare because one has the Garuda, the other does not. So, it's going to be a little bit hard to tell, but tails look the same, tell you that. One thing I will give props to for the new release is sometimes he can stand on his own, whereas this guy the Super MechaGodzilla seems to need his tail sometimes, or in this case, the plastic of the tag. These guys definitely do have a little bit of trouble standing, which is weird because their feet are very large. Next size comparison. Guys, our next size comparison is another figure who loves to not be able to stand on his own, but it's the older version of the Super MechaGodzilla, or just MechaGodzilla 2, I guess. There's the tag for reference. So, obviously, this guy is a much different sculpt, much taller figure. He's just taller all around. This is when Bandai made their figures a little bit bigger. Again, no open mouth. That's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Still no really paint. He's pretty, similar to this guy. Yeah, he's kind of more of a gunmetal versus just a silver, but he is gonna just be basically the one color all the way through the entire figure, with the exception of a little bit of the eyes. So definitely interesting to note that Bandai went that route and just has completely always kind of done the one color on MechaGodzilla 2. Just to clarify, kind of show you guys what level of color we could have had. The Best Days Monster Arts. Obviously, the wiring in the legs has some color. This center button has some color, which obviously we don't have on this guy, but we do have it on the other one. Some nice color here, a little bit mixed in on the hands. Obviously, I wouldn't expect to get this level of them painting the hands, but they could have given us some black in here on the arms where those wires are. But the head, obviously, done pretty well. Just going to be a straight silver pretty much on that. So, really, all I would like to make this, to really elevate this figure, I really would have just loved, and the knee ones aren't even visible. You can't even see the knee wiring on this figure, but just the wiring on on the elbow joint here, the wiring on the sides. Had they just painted those two, just a little bit of black, gotten some of that in there, that really would have elevated this figure in my mind, I think. Guys, I did want to go ahead and compare him to a Godzilla, so here we go. Going to compare him to this version of our Godzilla here. They're going to stand pretty even in height. As always, I wouldn't mind if MechaGodzilla 2 was a little taller. I like my enemies to be a little taller than Godzilla, make Godzilla look like he really got a challenge on his hands. But there you go, there's that size comparison. And just because they share a movie, the Fire Rodan figure, I figured I'd throw him here just to see the sizing, how that works. I was really big wingspan on this guy, but there is a sizing of the Fire Rodan. We are getting a new Fire Rodan, I think, at the end of the month or early June. So in that review, I will definitely compare him to this figure as well, but that'll be the new figure, so stay tuned for that new Fire Rodan review. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This has been Bandai's 2023 release of MechaGodzilla 2, 1993. Let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comments below. Definitely interested to know, did you guys pick this up? Did you also pick up the Super MechaGodzilla that Bandai did very recently? Or did you just pick up one or the other? Love to know in the comments below, guys. Please leave a comment so we can chat. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one.